And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I'm back with another video. So today we're going to be talking about the new set of challenges that were just unlocked, the team up challenges, which were supposed to arrive Tuesday, but 2K decided that they were just going to drop them Thursday, whatever. Anyways, we got 10 new challenges, the end reward being a Ruby Adrian Dantley, who for all intents and purposes is okay. So the first challenge is just score 15 points. You're playing against Antoine Jameson, Karan Butler, and Gilbert. Use whoever you want. Number 2, we got Lob City. Make 5 team dunks to claim the victory. So what are some guys you can use? Obviously, I'm not going to go into like pink diamonds and diamonds and stuff like that. Like, obviously, you can use John Wall. All right, like that's not really who I'm bringing to the table here, so I'm going to focus on guys who are at amethyst tier and below that you can use. Jamal Wilkes is decent if you need a budget option there. If you need another budget option, Andrew Wiggins is also incredibly good. Dino Raja works really well. You can get him for around 1,000 MT, a little bit more now. Steven Jackson is extremely good. You can get him for around 3K if you don't have him already. Conventionally, you could use big men. I like Jay Williams a lot. Jay Williams for this challenge is really good. He plays a little bit of defense. He can shoot. Obviously, if you have that Ruby MJ, he works really well. Byron Scott has an 80 driving dunk. That's a guy I've been touting for a long period of time. You can get some quick dunks with him, plus he has that gold quick first step. So, yeah, Nate Robinson, if you have him, he'll work. Thurl Bailey will get dunks for you, no problem. There's a couple dunk challenges. Robert Pack. Robert Pack is so incredibly cheap because he doesn't lock in for anything that you could probably pick him up for around 2,000 MT at most. He has a 90 driving dunk, elite speed. Look, using those guys, using like a combo of like Dino, Steven Jackson, and Robert Pack, you should be able to not only win the challenge, but you should be able to get 5 dunks relatively easy. Yeah, you can use other guys too. Like if you want to go the free route, like Dandy Manning works really well. He's extremely similar to Thurl Bailey in the way they operate. He's got that 85 driving dunk, or 85 standing, 80 driving dunk. So we got the Lakers team up 1. Make 6 team layups against Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and Wilt Chamberlain. Sounds kind of daunting, but the idea is just to find a really fast point guard that has a low driving dunk. Terry Rozier actually has an 85 driving dunk, so conventionally he sounds like a good pick, but he wouldn't. So if you don't have like a Tony Parker or somebody like that, another couple quick guys you could use. Jay Williams dunks, his tendency is a little high. Mark Price works pretty well, but he's not really that fast. Robert Pack, he'll start the animations for dunking extremely quick, so he's not the ideal option. Marcus Smart actually works really well. He only has a 65 driving dunk. So you should be able to get a lot of layups up, and he has like an upper 90s driving layup. So he works pretty well. Ideally, you want to use like a point guard or a small guard. Mo Cheeks works actually pretty well. Daniel Gibson dunks a little too hard. I love Daniel Gibson, man. He's literally one of my favorite cards. For a really cheap budget option, though, George Hill actually works incredibly well. Derek Harper is okay if you have him and you don't want to spend any MT. Markelle Fultz, I think, dunks a little too hard. Yeah, 85 driving dunk. If you're using a high-tiered card, like an Oscar Robertson or something like that, refer back to my triple threat video. So make 5 team 3-pointers and win the game against the Celtics. Actually not that difficult. You just want to use your best 3-pointing guys. Just use a combo of like a guard, a wing, and a big man, just to make sure you can like get rebounds and score. Just some budget guys that would work, obviously. We're going to talk about random 3-point shooters here. Let's see. Duncan Robinson is a free option, and not only is he on the bigger side, he has really good shooting badges with like corner specialist. Steady is actually really helpful against the CPU because the CPU typically plays really good defense, so Steady is not like an end-all be-all. Steven Jackson, obviously, I've referenced, is really good. Bruce Bowen and Brent Barry is actually incredible, and you can get him for, what, is it 15 or 30 tokens? I don't remember how many rubies were. I think it was 15. Definitely worth the 15 tokens. Brent Barry is actually good. Obviously, like, you could use diamonds and pink diamonds. Like, I'm just providing budget and free options that work really well for these type of challenges. And then as far as like a free or like a big man goes, kind of hard to tell. Let me see if there's any other sneaky pickups. Byron Scott. Why am I forgetting Byron Scott? Absolutely incredible. You can drill threes with this guy, and he can hit them from deep, too. Buddy Hield, he's got range extender. Eric Gordon obviously works really well, too. So make 5 layups with any player. I've talked about some guys. Magic Johnson does not have clamps, so just make sure you can get a fast, quick first step point guard that has a lower driving dunk, both tendency and rating, and you should be fine. You can drive right past Magic, no problem. And if you have a stretch big man, somebody who can at least shoot a little bit, Kareem won't paint sit on you. So get 8 assists with any player and win the game. Obviously, I just recommend grabbing a point guard with gold dimer at least, floor general, and then surround him with shooters. You're good. This one actually gave me the most trouble out of all of them. Kobe, Shaq, and Robert Horry get 6 dunks. So the idea here is you want to make sure to get a smaller point guard or a smaller guard in general. Your main person that you're going to be getting these dunks with will be your mid-sized person. So keep them around 6'7", 6'8", or even 6'5", 6'6". Just somewhere in that shooting guard small forward size, so they get matched up with Robert Horry. And then make sure you have a big man. I recommend using like Dino Raja to hold Shaq down defensively and to be huge. So Byron Scott would work really well, but he is a little bit too small, so chances are he gets matched up with Kobe. The Kobe in question here is like a pink diamond 90, or yeah, like a pink diamond 96 overall, and he has badges. Steven Jackson obviously works incredibly well. He doesn't have quick first step, but the idea is just to get matched up with Robert Horry because you can abuse Robert Horry. It's harder to abuse Kobe and it's harder to abuse Shaq because they both have a lot of defensive badges, being high tier cards. Andrew Wiggins is probably the best option that you can possibly have, plus he's got like some defensive badges to help out, and he can shoot a little bit. I would probably recommend using him. Robert Reed works too if you have him. He's an option as well. Just make sure that they're around the correct size. Now, as far as like using a point guard, you can use any of them. Just make sure they're the shortest player on the team. You need the guy you're going to be getting the dunks with to be your mid-sized player. And like I said, as far as big men go, Dino Raja, like without a doubt. Just because he stretches the floor a little bit, he'll keep Shaq out of the paint just a tad, because the CPU will respect his shooting ability. If you use someone like Tyson Chandler or Roy Hibbert, they're more likely to hang out under the basket, allowing Shaq to be down there too. So, late 90s, Bulls team up. We got MJ, Scotty, and Dennis Rodman. Make 4 3-pointers with any player. Obviously, just pick someone like a Duncan Robinson or a Brent Barry. If you don't have any of the high-tier guys, them having steady shooter, they're actually going to make it with contest a lot faster. Just make sure you have a guy with a dimer or floor general, and you should be good to go. So, we got the 9th challenge here. We have the Heat team up. Score 25 points with any player. Once again, you could just kind of go, it just depends on your play style with this one. I'm not going to suggest a bunch of players just because individual play style is important. If you're 3 hunting, obviously just use a player you're very, very comfortable with. If you're a rim running player, obviously do that. My advice would be to try to target Chris Bosh. He's only a Ruby and does not seem to have clamps. So, make 8 3-pointers as the team and win the game. They're running a small ball lineup, so feel free to run a small ball lineup as well. Obviously, if you have these higher tier guys, use them. But if you want to go like the free route, Trae Young works really well, but Ricky Rubio is a really good pickup if you have him. Other than that, a lot of the other guys I've talked about, Robert Pack will shoot some threes too. Byron Scott, obviously. If you have Michael Cooper, he's an incredible 3-and-D guy. Steve Smith will even work if you're comfortable with his jump shot. Just take it to shoot around. It's a little weird to get used to. Eric Gordon is obviously incredible, but make sure. So I didn't talk about James Silas for the layups, but for any of the layup challenges, James Silas legitimately may be the best card you could possibly use. You can lock in for him relatively cheap if you haven't already. He cannot dunk the ball at all. 90 speed. He has gold, quick first step, all the finishing badges. He's absolutely incredible, and you can get those layup challenges done super quick with him on the squad. Let's talk about some other guys that can shoot threes for you at various positions. Jamal Mashburn actually works really well. Caron Butler, he honestly may be worth the 10K because he can actually help you in many of these challenges. He's got like an 80 driving dunk, so he can get some dunk challenges going. Decent 3, he's got about an 81 3-pointer, so he'll shoot some threes. Decent speed, he's got good badges. I want to say he has, Hall of Fame corner specialist. He's got finishing badges. He's got catch and shoot, flexible release. Hot zone hunter, he has that steady shooter, which will help in this scenario. Larry Cannon will be great for dunk challenges, but at the same time, like, he's really expensive. It's not worth it when you can just go grab Andrew Wiggins or Steven Jackson for like 3-4K. Much better options. Yeah, especially because Andrew Wiggins is just a better all-around player. Bruce Bowen's a great 3-and-D guy, and he's relatively cheap as well. Brent Berry is without a doubt worth the 15 tokens. I cannot stress that enough. So I hope this helped you just a little bit in crafting your teams. These challenges aren't overall hard, but I could see how you could struggle on them in some way, shape, or form. They all are on pro difficulty, so you should be able to make a lot of shots, but having some guys with steady out there will help you with the contest, because sometimes the CPU likes to play defense if you're winning too much. So anyways, guys, check me out tomorrow. I'll be streaming the packs. I'll also have a bunch of videos with what I'm assuming are Idols packs. Go check out the Twitch, twitch.tv/cheaplose. Go check out the Patreon. Go check out the podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow.